Welcome to Film School Friday. I'm Corey.
I'm Bill.
And together we host the In Focus podcast. Film School Friday is our special weekly episode where I get to quiz Bill to see how much knowledge he's retained from his years of film school. In this week's episode, we're talking about color temperature. But Bill, before you start breaking out all your definitions and prepare to school me on Kelvin, the question is more around how do you leverage color temperature to enhance your creative process?
So color temperature is a really big deal to me. And I don't know if it's because I come from a visual artist sort of background. I paint, I draw, I do things like that. So I'm very much into colors. Watched a lot of cartoons growing up that sort of influenced me visually. So splashes of color and lots of different color were always very appealing to me going into film and video. And so I've always tried to leverage color temperature in different ways to achieve something that's visually striking or interesting, and sometimes not necessarily practical in all respects. You know, that works in music videos, for example. And that's a matter of, you know, combining a lot of warm tones and a lot of cool tones when it comes to temperature. Something I don't personally like to see is one temperature flat across the board. That's visually a little bit dull to me. I like to put a pop of a counter color temperature in there somewhere just to keep the eye going, just to keep the eye interested. And so I'll sometimes, for example, light a room with warm tones, but light the windows with cool tones, very striking cool tones. And sometimes even, like, let's say there's a hallway, put some cool tones in the hallway and, you know, do that vice versa. A film that I can cite that does this to a great extent is Kiss Kiss Bang Bang. It's got Robert Downey Jr. and Val Kilmer.
Yep.
I think it came out in like 2007 or something. There are some strong color temperatures to make the film more visually striking. You can go too far with that and make things look just bizarre and unnatural and crazy, which again works in the music video world a lot of times. So there is a limit, I would say. You want to go easy on it and you want to mix up your temperatures as it works, I guess.
Right. That probably similar to move beyond just the different shades of white. And, you know, you start talking about complementary colors. Mm-hmm. And again, but like back to music videos, you see this often where maybe there are stereotubes or different light movers, things like that, where you get wild and crazy colors that those complement. I think your approach is interesting in the sense that maybe you don't necessarily subscribe to every light needs to be the exact same color temperature to match the setup. Maybe the camera color temperature doesn't necessarily need to match the lighting temperature. Mm-hmm. But again, that's a creative decision that you're making.
It is.
And leveraging color temperature to your benefit.
It is. Yeah, it's definitely a creative decision. I don't recommend that style of approach if you're doing corporate type work, sit down interviews, news, that sort of thing. Definitely stick to your white 3-point lighting for something like that and make sure you white balance. But if you're wanting to be a little more striking and you got that flexibility to be more creative, go wild with those temperatures.
Mix it up.
Yeah, mix it up.
Okay, good. Anything else?
I mentioned color temperature in music videos, and I know a thing that was really big in 90s music videos in particular was doing very striking, very contrasty color tones and temperatures within the same scene. Like you'd see your artist performing in the foreground with like bright blown out teal, but then the background would be red. Like it'd be just real striking images like that were really popular in the 90s.
Right.
That I would say there's probably a market for some of that these days, but I would say that's probably taken it a little too far in kind of the sensibilities of design and visuals these days. It's probably going to come back around. It's a nice novelty to go that hard if you want to, but again, don't do it if you're doing a sit-down interview because that's very bizarre and is going to be noticeable.
Yeah, everything has a time and a place, even your color temperature.
Correct.
Got it. Perfect. All right. Well, great job once again I give you an A on this week's pop quiz.
Yes. Do I get a pizza party?
Passed. Nope, we're not there yet. Got to wait for that midterm.
Ah.
All right. So that'll about do it for Film School Friday. Thanks for tuning in. Please make sure you feed your crew, and we'll catch you next time.
See you later.
We know you have plenty of podcast options, and we appreciate you choosing us. Join us next week to hear me put Bill to the test once again. Check us out at infocuspodcast.com. And if you like what you heard today, go ahead and subscribe. We'll be here when you get back.